All right, let's talk about tantrums. You know those big, overwhelming feelings our kids have? Our gut reaction, right? It's always to just make it stop. But what if we're looking at it all wrong? What if the goal isn't to silence the storm, but to actually understand the weather? That's what we're going to do today. We're going to shift our whole perspective and learn how to decode the real messages behind those huge feelings. So let's dive in.
Okay, be honest. Have you ever found yourself completely defeated by a toddler in the middle of the cereal aisle? Yeah, we've all been there. That full-blown public meltdown because, I don't know, a cookie broke in half, or you handed them the blue cup instead of the red one. You just stand there feeling totally powerless. It's frustrating, it can be pretty embarrassing, and you know what? It is unbelievably common.
And I mean, look at these numbers. This chart really says it all. The data shows that at the peak, around 2.5 to 3 years old, a whopping 91% of kids are having tantrums. So if you're going through this, you are so not alone. The big takeaway here is this: it's not a sign that you're a bad parent, and it's definitely not a sign of a bad kid. It's just a normal, predictable part of them growing up.
So, to really get a handle on this, we've got to start thinking differently. We need to reframe what a tantrum actually is. It's not just random chaos. It's communication. It's time to look past the kicking and screaming.
Okay, let's get the official definition out of the way. A temper tantrum is a brief episode of extreme behaviors in response to frustration or anger. Now, I want you to notice two really important words there: brief and in response to. That tells us everything, really. First, it won't last forever, even when it feels like it will. And second, it's not happening out of the blue. It's a direct reaction to a huge feeling that they just don't have the tools to manage yet.
And this is where we have to put on our detective hats. We have to become decoders. Because the behavior you see on the surface, that's not the real message. When you see screaming and crying, what they're often trying to say is, I am totally overwhelmed. When you see hitting or pushing, it might mean, I don't feel safe right now. And that defiant no that drives us crazy, so often it's really just a cry for help that sounds like, I have no idea how to handle this giant feeling.
This quote just sums it up perfectly. All behaviors have a meaning, serve a purpose, and communicate a child's need at that moment. It's so true. No behavior is just random, especially the tough ones. They're all communicating a need. And that means our job isn't to punish the behavior, it's to figure out the need underneath it. Okay, so the big question is why? Why can't they just use their words? Why does it have to be so explosive? Well, the answer, and it's a really important one, is all about the science of their little developing brains. And to make this brain science super simple, let's use an analogy. I want you to think of a child's brain as a car. Seriously, this little metaphor is a total game changer for understanding what's happening during a meltdown.
So imagine this car. From the moment they're born, it has a super powerful gas pedal. We're talking 0 to 60 in a second. That's their amygdala, the emotion center of the brain. It's what drives all those raw, intense feelings like anger and frustration, and it works perfectly.
Now, any car with a gas pedal that powerful needs some really good brakes, right? Of course. And in our brain, the braking system is the prefrontal cortex. This is the part that handles logic, reasoning, and impulse control. It's what lets us think before we act.
And here's the catch. In a little kid, those brakes are still being built. They're just not fully installed yet. The connection between that powerful emotional gas pedal and the logical brakes is flimsy, it's unreliable. So when a big feeling hits, it is all gas and no brakes. They literally, physically cannot calm down or reason their way out of it.
So once you understand that it's all gas and no brakes, it completely changes our job as parents. We can stop trying to be a tantrum manager, and instead we can step into the role of an emotion coach. Let's talk about what that really looks like.
So, the Gottman Institute breaks it down into a few common parenting styles when it comes to feelings. You've got the dismissing style, which basically tells kids their feelings are wrong. Then there's the disapproving style, which teaches them that they're wrong for feeling that way. And the laissez-faire, or hands-off approach, it just leaves kids feeling lost. But look at the emotion coach. This approach sees a meltdown as a teaching moment, and that is how we build confident, resilient kids.
So what exactly is emotion coaching? It's simple, really. It's about recognizing that when your child is having a tough time with their feelings, it's not an interruption to your day. It's actually a perfect moment to connect and to teach them one of the most important skills they'll ever learn: how to navigate their own emotions.
Okay, that all sounds great in theory, right? But what do you actually do when you're in the thick of it?
when you're on the supermarket floor with a screaming toddler, let's get into the practical, hands-on tools you can start using right away.
All right, here it is, the 5-step playbook from the Gottman Institute. Step 1, just be aware of the emotion. Notice it. Step 2, see that emotion as an opportunity to connect, not as a problem. Step 3, and this is a big one, listen with empathy and validate what they're feeling. Step 4, help them find the words. Naming an emotion, saying it sounds like you're angry, is incredibly powerful. And finally, step 5, you set limits on the behavior, but not the feeling, and then you explore solutions together.
Okay, out of all those steps, the most important one is validation. And we have to be super clear about this. Validating a feeling is not the same thing as agreeing with a behavior. You're not saying, oh yeah, it's totally fine to hit your brother. No, you're saying, wow, I can see you are feeling incredibly angry right now. It's about showing them you understand their feeling, even if you don't approve of their action.
And hey, here's a great little trick to remember how to do this in the heat of the moment. Just think barn. B is for body language. Get down on their level, make eye contact. A is for active listening. Really hear them out. R is for reflecting feelings, saying things like, that sounds so frustrating. And N is for non-judgment. This one's tough, I know, but try to avoid saying things like, that's ridiculous. It's key to making them feel safe with you.
And if you need some actual words to say, here are a few you can steal. Things like, it makes total sense that you feel so upset about that. Or even, you know what, if that happened to me, I'd be angry too. Seriously, phrases like these are like magic. They instantly de-escalate things, because for the first time in that meltdown, your child feels completely seen and understood. So that's how we coach them during the storm. But what about preventing some of these storms from even starting? Well, for prevention, we've got another great acronym, CALM.
The CALM approach is all about being proactive. C is for communicate. Talk about feelings when everyone's calm. A is for attend. Give them that positive attention they crave. L is for let them choose. Simple choices like red shirt or blue shirt gives them a sense of control. And M is for make routines, especially for naps and meals. Honestly, that last one is huge. So many meltdowns are really just about a kid being hungry or tired.
And that really brings us full circle, back to our main point. The goal here isn't to stop the feelings. We can't raise kids who never get sad or angry or frustrated. That's just not realistic. The real goal is to raise a child who, when those big feelings show up, has the tools to navigate them. So the next time it happens, and it will happen, when your little one is in the middle of a huge meltdown, I want you to just pause, take a deep breath, and before you do anything, ask yourself, what's the message here? What are they really trying to tell me? Because I promise you, once you start looking for the message instead of just reacting to the mess, it changes everything.